Hello everyone, we are closing in on a milestone for one of our service organizations here in the Scottsbluff-Gering area. We're talking about Rotary International, and we're going to focus a little bit on the organization here leading up to their 100th anniversary later this month, and I have the pleasure of having Mike Downey and Bill Trumbull with me today. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Scott.
Let's talk a little bit about the history of Rotary itself, as well as the local club and the foundation.
Yeah, Rotary, there's about 36,000 clubs in the world right now. This club locally was 1136 or 1134. So you can see that we started in March 24th of 20. And so it's quite a milestone. A lot of clubs don't last that long. There are clubs still doing very well. And Rotary International does a lot of great things throughout the world, and we've been obviously pleased to be a part of that.
Well, and to have it spread that quickly, that is really kind of significant, isn't it?
It really is. As Mike said, we were one of the early clubs. There's now worldwide almost 2 million members.
Wow.
In International Rotary. So what started as a organization basically within the U.S. has now spread to just about every country in the world, which has certainly created a whole different realm of where the projects happen. We do our local club and all the other clubs. We continue to raise funds for both local projects and international projects. And when we get into some of those projects, we're able to get matching grants back from Rotary International, which really gives us a lot of bang for our buck.
Sure, and of course, I'm sure the international projects kind of put together by the international organization, the umbrella overseeing that's part of the organization.
Some of them are like polio.
Sure.
Polio eradication was one of those, obviously. But there's projects that are national projects that may be started by a certain club. I mean, we've done a Kenya water project. Joe Schoen was a part of that, and we supported that obviously, and then our district supported that, and other clubs within the district supported that. Very successful. Bringing water to a community that didn't have clean water, and so that is a significant life changer for people in those communities.
And of course, the local projects are also life changers for individuals in the local communities, and there have been some here in the recent past that have been pretty significant, and I'm sure going forward in the next 100 years, there will be as well, and even into this anniversary year.
Right.
That's correct. We've been blessed as a club here with good membership, good support over all these years, so it's allowed us to play fairly large roles in some projects such as the soccer complex, the Kiwanis Park behind the Riverside Zoo. We've been involved. One of our members got a dentistry program, Mission of Mercy here a number of years back, and we were very involved in that. So
that served over almost 1,200 people that day.
The free little libraries that are out there.
And Megan Hayward did that, and the club supported her to do that, and those little libraries are out throughout the community right now that kids and adults that may not have access to books can have access to.
And one project we do every year is dictionaries to all the third graders throughout the Panhandle, basically, and that's become a huge program, and it's just always very enjoyable to see the looks on these kids' faces and the excitement. Dictionary to us at our age doesn't sound quite as exciting. To the kids, it's very exciting, and that's been a great project.
So the local organization here has been around. Coming up later this month, it's celebrating their 100th anniversary. And there are some families who've been involved pretty much from the get-go, the Trumbulls being one of them. And we'll be back in the next segment to talk about that as soon as we return in just a moment. And we're back, and today we're talking about the 100th anniversary of the Rotary International Club here in Scottsbluff and Gering. Specifically, they're going to be celebrating the 100th anniversary coming up here on the 24th of March officially. But we're going to be doing a series of informative programs here talking about the different aspects of the organization, one of them being legacy families. And I have Bill Trumbull, along with Mike Downey with me. And again, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill, your family's been involved in this pretty much, well, from the get-go, right?
You know, we have. My great-grandfather was one of the founding members, Jimmy Carr, and the club continued to grow after that. Both of my grandfathers, Bill Skinner and Bill Trumbull, both became members and both served as presidents. After that, my father, Carr Trumbull, came in and also served as a president. Then I came in, I've been a president, and my brother Jim is also in right now and has served as president, and is also in charge of the area RILA program this year. So it's something that, has kind of been instilled in our family. We've felt it has been a very important organization to the area, what they give back, what's involved. And it's been a great place to network and meet people, and we've just thoroughly enjoyed it.
Is that the attraction for the legacy families, I guess, is the ability to give back to the community as well as, meeting all kinds of different people from different walks of life in the organization?
Well, I would think so. I think that's certainly a part of it. But, Rotary's bigger than that. I mean, even the networking and the local service things, I think people really like the idea that they can actually make a difference outside of the community too. And it can be either out in our district, make a difference, or in the United States somewhere other than here, or internationally. So I think Rotary provides a great avenue for service, and service above self is one of our mottos. And so I think anybody who feels it's important to serve their community would really like Rotary. And I think legacy families, most of them have that buy-in. They have that philosophy. And so Rotary fits in, like with Bill's family. They've always been serving, and there's other families that have done the same thing that have had 2 and 3 generations.
Well, let's talk a little bit about those other families.
Well, I think of the Selzer family. They had, Jack, and then John, and then John Junior. He's not quite the same, not quite Junior, but the middle initial's a little different. But that family, they've had the Schaefer family way back. They've had the Kelly family. Massey family. I mean, there's been many families. I mean, I could name them off here, but it might take too long. There's just a lot of, and I think that provides some real continuity in the club and provides us some real strength. And I think that's why this club has done some things that it's done. I really believe that. Providing
a backbone for other members who may come in and maybe in their...
my dad was not a Rotarian. I became a Rotarian in Texas, came back here, became a Rotarian here. I've served in other organizations, but Rotary is just different. It's just, it provides a whole different level of service that you can provide to your community, I think.
Well, and I think as Mike said, we get a lot of members come in that have moved from somewhere else, and once you're a Rotarian, you're always a Rotarian.
Sure.
And that's usually one of the first things we see when somebody moves to the community from somewhere else, is they want to come to a meeting immediately and get involved, which is great. I think that's just a part of Rotary that gets instilled into you, and you don't lose it.
Yeah. So if somebody is interested in becoming a Rotarian, how do they do so? Where do they find more information?
Well, normally we would have them fill out an application if they have that, and we'll start the process in that way. And so, they probably need to just contact a Rotarian.
And we get somebody to sponsor them,
right,
and just go from there.
Okay, that sounds great. So that opportunity is out there if you want to live a life of service through Rotary International. There is an application process, and you do need to be sponsored. Just one of the many aspects of Rotary International of Scottsbluff and Gering that we're going to be talking about throughout the entire month of March, leading up to their 100th anniversary for the local service club. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Scott.
Very much. Appreciate it.